There is a ban face claim list for a reason. Why am I seeing people like Kristen Stewart being used after stating it makes her uncomfortable? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, organics of all ages, I'm Double R, and in this video we're going to cover that lovely little moan. And this has a little bit more nuance than people expect, so this video is going to be a little bit longer, but that's okay. I'm going to summarize it as best I can, I'm going to shorten it as much as I can, and we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to say about 6 topics. It's probably going to come down to about 5 or 4, depending on how good my memory is. One will be a couple legal cases that came up. Number 2 will be the primary problem people want to throw out there and the actual problem that they're conflating it with. 3, we're going to talk about my politics, my politics. And 4, we're going to talk about the animated avatar problem that happened. So first thing first, the legal cases. There were 2. The first one was red jumpsuit apparatus versus the photographer named Rohan. For those of you who roleplay with me, you kind of see the joke there. Even I laughed. Don't worry, it's okay. The situation here was simple. Who owns the picture of red jumpsuit apparatus? Was it red jumpsuit apparatus themselves because they were the subject of the picture? Or was it the photographer? This became the battle. RJA, red jumpsuit apparatus, said, no, we own the picture, it's us. The fact that we're using your picture, even in a nutshell, you should be happy about. Meanwhile, the photographer Rohan goes, no, that's not how that works. I, as the photographer, own the picture. That's why I had a watermark on it, and that's why you used my picture and cut out the watermark. Either put a watermark back and pay me what I am owed for you using my picture, or take it down. It's just that simple. Just take down a picture and use a different one. No harm, no foul. They go back and forth for a while, and RJA's legal team most likely said, guys, you lose this. Trust me. The law's on his side. So they kowtowed and pretty much removed the picture. It's either they removed the picture or asked them how much they actually want, how much do you actually want for it, and then paid them. That said, that was the first round. This is important for later. This is something that's going to be brought up. Second round. Billie Eilish and her legal team wound up going after, I believe, either a German or an England, UK group that was doing 3D modeling. And they claimed on their picture that they brought up, the picture that caused Billie Eilish and her legal team to go after them in the first place, that picture, the main model, the core model was Billie Eilish. Even though the end result did not look like her in any way, shape, or form, it started as her. That's what the legal team went after, and they won it. Why? Because they still used her likeness in general as the base. That said, yeah, that means creating art, if you use a wrong base, that's on you. You have to prove that it's not that as the model. Sucks to be you. But as we learned with the whole blurred lines thing, if you are close enough to it to count, it counts. So, that's topic 1. We're already done. Remember those things, they come up later. Topic 2. The Kristen Stewart problem and the Jensen Ackles debacle. These are 2 different things, and the Kristen Stewart problem gets conflated with the Jensen Ackles debacle. Let me explain both and you'll see what I mean. In one of the interviews with Kristen Stewart, she stated bluntly, in so many words, that taking pictures of her, notice the wording, taking pictures of her is akin to the R word that rhymes with grape. In fact, it's actually in the word grape if you remove the G. That said, this statement is the baseline for a lot of people to state she does not want her picture used in roleplay. There are problems here. We'll get to that in a moment. This is conflating their problem, the Kristen Stewart problem, with the Jensen Ackles debacle. Now, the Jensen Ackles debacle was in an interview years ago. In fact, I made a video like this before, years ago. And it was years before that, so a while back. That said, during that interview, it came up as a subject of why does he have a Twitter now? And he said, well, long story short, and I'm going to paraphrase it because it was a Q&A and he was answering, like actors do. So I'm going to paraphrase in terms of roleplay. In so many words, a fake life account, an FL account, was pretty much following everything he does. They retweeted everything they did. Retweeted every location they were at. Retweeted everything. Everything. They retweeted as they were that person. Now, you're probably wondering, how would he retweet if Jensen Ackles didn't have anything? Because there's an official Supernatural site. There's an official Twitter for that. And they were putting out information. They weren't intending to put out information to harm anybody. They were putting out information of, we're recording here, we're doing this. Next episode will be about this thing, yada, yada. You get the idea. The typical. This is why a lot of places are very careful of where they're saying where they're going to be at. But let's move along. There's stuff on Facebook that the guy was able to research. I don't know what was going on with the actual account. But long story short, Jensen Ackles brought up the fact that somehow, some way, the fake life account, through hook or crook, put out a location and a time. And one of the people who was following the fake life account couldn't tell the difference between in character and out of character. They didn't realize this was a fake account or a fan account or a roleplay account. They didn't realize this. They thought they were talking to the real Jensen Ackles. They thought they were talking to the real Jensen Ackles. So they went to that place because they lived nearby. And lo and behold, they ran into the actual Jensen Ackles. So then, of course, she started asking 101 questions about them dating, about does he remember her birthday, and yada yada, and blah blah blah, and yakety schmackety, and blah 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 blah. And he's sitting here going, I don't even have a Twitter. What are you talking about? So after dealing with that insanity, he made a Twitter and found out, whoa, there is a Jensen Ackles on here. And it ain't me. We got a problem. So, the Jensen Ackles debacle is a lot of what people are basing the Kristen Stewart problem on. And that is the actor or the parent of the actor directly requesting not to be used in that case. Now, there are problems here. There are major problems here. Because as an actor, Kristen Stewart, as an actress, there's a problem. It's major. It's actually a big problem to canon characters. Now, let me explain. If you don't want to use these people, you want to have a ban list and you want to ban those who from roleplay as OCs, fine, cool, whatever. Your account, your rules. If people want to follow it, go for it. Again, I make RPCs and people throw a hissy fit about the word commandment, so what the fuck. Anyway, moving on. The difference between the Kristen Stewart problem and the Jensen Ackles debacle, Jensen Ackles was actually affected directly. The Kristen Stewart problem is based on the paparazzi, because that is how the paparazzi does things. They invade your privacy. They're trying to get photos of you in any way, shape, or form to sell off to tabloids, TMZ, things of that nature. In fact, Billie Eilish herself was hit with this. She was minding her own business near her home, taking out trash or going to check the mail or something, and she happened to be in a tank top, which is not her normal attire. Well, not the image she's trying to put her brand in. But because she was in a tank top, paparazzi saw it, took a picture, put it out there. That's the kind of stuff Kristen Stewart was referring to. That is why she made it sound so devious. Because paparazzi don't ask for consent for pictures. But as we remember with the red jumpsuit apparatus impending lawsuit, the photographer owns the picture. Thusly, the paparazzi owned the picture of Billie Eilish being in a tank top, and they did what they felt they wanted to. Because they own the picture. It's their picture. And that's what Kristen Stewart was referring to. The paparazzi invading your privacy, taking pictures of you every which way, north, south, east, west, backwards, forwards, fourth dimension, second dimension, whatever.
Because America loves hot, white, jailbait ass.
That was her concern. And of course, people spin it as, don't use her face claim as role play. Now, if you're going out there and chasing Kristen Stewart down to take her picture to use as face claims, problem. 100%, I agree. Problem. Her issue was with the paparazzi. Pretty much saying, hey, I may be a celebrity, but I deserve privacy. That's the long and short of that whole thing. Jensen Ackles pretty much said the same thing. It's just he was directly affected because a fake life account, for some reason, was very, 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 very detailed with their role play and was able to get someone there. Certain accounts, I personally say celebrities in general should not be a fake life account, especially if you're going to use the exact same name. If you're going to use the exact same bio, history, their current status, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to do it that way, 100% make a copy of it, no. But if you're going to do a fan site or whatever, fine, have at. You're a fan. Good, whatever. The issue that arises comes up in terms of canon, like I said before. Now, you're probably thinking, I don't see the issue. Of course not. You see 2 feet ahead of you, you don't see the mile. Let me explain. With the Jensen Ackles debacle, for those of you who don't know, Jensen Ackles played a character called Dean, one of the main characters on the show, Supernatural. Kristen Stewart played one of the main characters on Twilight, the movie series. Lo and behold, she is pretty much the main love interest between Team Jacob, of course, and Team Edward the vampire. Jacob the werewolf, Edward the vampire. Bella is the main character there, and Dean is one of, I believe, 2 to 3 main characters in Supernatural. It started with 2, then went up to 3. Long story, whatever. Television show, it can do that. Point being, if Kristen Stewart is a banned face claim, and Jensen Ackles is a banned face claim, how do you go into the Twilight fandom, to the Twilight roleplay group, and roleplay Bella? How do you do it? Remember, a lot of people will say AU is not canon. AU, because it's not canon, doesn't hold water. AU cannot join this fandom. So you cannot use a different face claim for Bella. Even though you can go, hey, I'm basing it off of the description in the books and I got a picture of this face claim instead of Kristen Stewart, doesn't matter. Most of the fandom will go, hey, we're based on a movie, you're out. Because choosing a different face claim by default insults the actress Kristen Stewart because it diminishes her work. Now, in that same vein, if you do use Kristen Stewart as the face claim for Bella, because she was the actress that portrayed Bella in the movies, you have now made the other critical error. And that critical error, of course, being she's a banned face claim by her own request. You done goofed. Get the fuck out. Nah, get out of the fandom. Bye-bye. You have offended the actress yet again because instead of insulting her work, you insulted her request directly. Even if you defend it going, hey, she was talking about paparazzi. People don't see it that way. And because several people don't see it that way, you're stuck, you're booted from the fandom, Twilight fandom. They just booted you. Bye-bye. How dare you? So you can't play Bella with a different face claim. You can't play Bella with the proper face claim. What do? That canon is dead. You have just killed that whole series. Main character, gone. Why? Can't use her. Why? Because you can't use a face claim because the actress doesn't want you to use her face claim. But you can't use a different face claim because that's classified as AU, which is not part of canon, and no one wants to deal with that when they're trying to tell a canon-like story. So, even though it's technically AU that they're telling a different story in the first place, and it's technically AU when you're role-playing, but what the fuck ever. You can't use a different face claim because that's not the face claim they're used to seeing in the movie, so, you're out. This also holds with Supernatural. How do you roleplay Dean without using Jensen Ackles as the face claim? You can't do it. He's the definitive Dean. You can't put a different face claim on Dean because you insult Jensen Ackles' work. But the fandom will already call you on that. That's not Dean. Get the fuck out. But I'm a canon kid. Get the fuck out. I don't care if you want to roleplay Dean Winchester. Get out. Get out. That's not the face claim. That's not Jensen Ackles. Get out. However, if you do use Jensen Ackles, you have now insulted the actor directly because he requested not any fake life version of himself to be used. So here you are doing it anyway. And you can sit there and defend it. He means no fake life as Jensen Ackles. I'm role-playing the character Dean Winchester, not Jensen Ackles. Don't care. We see it as the same problem as Kristen Stewart. Get out. Get out. Get out. You've insulted the actor by using his face claim for Dean, of all people. Get out. Bye-bye. Now the Supernatural fandom closes in on itself because, well, you lost the main character there too. And that is a problem people don't see. Because they're trying to play the little technicality game. Don't play technicalities with someone who loves technicalities. It ends badly. Topic 3. Politics. Or the summary of this being,
How dare you?
And using Greta for this was very pertinent. Because that is literally the issue. In fact, I made roleplay commandments about it. Literally, I made roleplay commandments about this. But that's kind of the point. In one way, shape, or form, I've made roleplay commandments about it. 1, try not to have your politics influence the character. 2, try not to have the fact of politics influence things in first place. But lo and behold, people will go, that person's a Trump supporter! That has nothing to do with my character. I'm just using a face claim. What's your problem? Well, the face claim you're using, that actor is a Trump supporter. Has nothing to do with my character, though. I'm not role-playing with you. I'm banning it. Because that actor's a Trump supporter. What's that got to do with the character? Not a damn thing. But, banned because, well...
How dare you?
That. And this goes across the board. And you can summarize it all up, not just from the clip of how dare you, but you can summarize it up with cancel culture. That's typically what pops up in politics. If a character has ever been whitewashed, the whitewashing character, even if they apologize, need to be taken with stern indignation. You gotta be indignant about this. You gotta be very stern. You gotta hold them to the letter. Yeah, sure, they could roleplay with that face claim. Sure. If the face claim apologized, if the actor apologized, yeah, you could. But there are caveats. That said, this goes both ways. Far left, far right, it goes both ways. Cancel culture, or if you really feel that they've offended you somehow. Are there problems here? Of course. Because if an actor does something, immediately the face claim gets penalized, which means immediately any character with a face claim gets hit. You don't believe me? I was hit with at least seeing 5 things on my timeline. 5 different people going, oh, Jeremy Renner is accused of something. Well, I'm not going to roleplay with Hawkeye, and if you dare use the face claim of Jeremy Renner, go ahead and block me now because I am ignoring you no matter what. What in the fuck does Jeremy Renner's real-life actions or accusations of actions have to do with the motherfucking character? Nothing. In character and real life are still 2 different things. However, because someone's using a face claim of, say, Jeremy Renner, and Jeremy Renner may or may not have done a boo-boo, lo and behold, banned. And my politics also comes up with certain other facets. Don't roleplay children. I can agree to that to some degree. And I'll go into that in a minute. Don't use face claims of dead people. Don't use face claims of children, which I agree. I agree with that to a point. And don't use face claims of dead people. Again, I kind of agree with that, but at the same time I disagree. Let me explain on both of these why. Dead people and children. If the character is a child and is portrayed by a child actor, you're screwed. Because now you've just taken out that character. Bar none, we're back to topic 2. We're back there again. Same thing with dead people. If you are role-playing in the Bill and Ted universe, and you're role-playing the character Rufus, which was played and portrayed by George Carlin, who is dead, you can no longer role-play Rufus. who was portrayed by George Carlin because George Carlin is dead. Right. Again, you fucked over canon. Way to go. Now, are you talking about not using those face claims for OCs? There's going to be a little leeway there too. But I can see where you're coming from. That's its own technicality. That's its own thing. OCs are a little bit of a different breed than canon. Let's be honest. Let's be fair. But most of these things are destroying canon. They mean to damage OCs. They do. They mean to damage OCs. I get that. I got it. But they are damaging canon a lot more. Now, last topic happens to be the animated problem. On Twitter a while back, a long while back, maybe like 2 years or so, a lot of animated avatars were propping up, pushing pedophilia and things of that nature. A lot of them. So a lot of people were just banning animated avatars outright. They didn't even bother looking at the profile. They didn't care about the bio. They didn't read any of that shit. They just saw animated profile. They blocked it. Is it from anime? Don't care. Blocked. Is it Looney Tune? Don't care. Blocked. But it's a Burger King's Kids Club member. Blocked. You get the idea. Now that's started laxing as of late, only because of a lot of characters that are animated being brought back into the limelight. The Tumblr version of She-Ra, for example, no one had a problem with She-Ra being brought back into view. And that's the point. You have the situation where a whole type was removed. Now, in relation to this, you will have people who have personal preferences instead of ban lists. Though they may personally ban it, it's under personal preference. For example, if you're playing in the comic verse and you really don't like the movie verse, you'll pretty much state, I don't interact with real life face claims. I don't interact with them. Why? Because I'm in the comic verse, I don't want to deal with real life folks. Don't want to deal with it. Same thing with anime. Anime will go, we don't want to deal with any real life people. If you have a real life face claim, don't want to deal with you. However, some anime folks will only deal with real life face claims because they're using the movie version and they don't want to get it confused for some reason. Go figure. This happens a lot because they have seen track records of, well, if I join the Dragon Ball universe, for example, and I'm Gambit, and people seem to have drama upon drama upon drama upon drama, why would I go back to any version of the Dragon Ball universe, even if the character is from the Dragon Ball universe but not part of that group? Why would I bother with them? So you can see how a lot of these ban lists come up with personal preference and their spin. Now again, all these topics, pretty much done. I think that was 4 or 5 topics? 4? The legal battles, Kristen Stewart and Jensen Ackles situation. The third one was my politics, and the fourth one was animated. Yeah, so yeah, I did 4. I remembered 4 out of 6 because I added the other 2, the dead and the kids, and the resurgence of the animation. I added those in the different spots where they needed to be, where they're closer to relation. But all that said and done, all that covered, that is the issue of this moan. Some people will only argue the Kristen Stewart problem. They'll conflate it with the Jensen Ackles debacle, which is why I kept them both as the first subject, because they typically get interwoven and they get mixed up. And that's fine, whatever. It's still that issue. And for those of you who see it that way, and you really feel that Kristen Stewart should not be used for any role play at all, her face claim should not be used at all, then you have literally fucked over some canons. Just keep that in mind. You pretty much fucked over some canon. Now, if you have it as a caveat, again, which is why I state very limited use, like limit the use of this, limit the use of those face claims, don't outright ban, limit. And the reason why I say limit is because, yes, you want to give respect to them. Yes, I get that. You want to respect them as an artist and as an actor and actress. I get that. I do, 100%. You want to respect them. Cool. I'm with it. However, if it is a canon character, how are you supposed to portray said canon character without getting yourself in trouble? As we've stated, if you use a different face claim, you're wrong, you're booted. If you use the proper face claim, aka Bella, if you use Kristen Stewart for Bella in Twilight, you've insulted the actress and it's on the ban list, bye-bye again. Now if you're talking in a very limited capacity, I can accept that. But to outright ban a face claim, outright banning those, that's a you problem. And in short, it's going to cause a problem in canon. That's like banning Sailor Moon in the Sailor Moon series. How the hell do you do that? You can't. You kind of throw everything under the bus. So remember that whenever you're stuck with this situation. Again, I've done this before. I don't believe you should do a fake life exactly as the person. That's insane. If Jensen Ackles is Jensen Ackles, don't fake life Jensen Ackles as Jensen Ackles. You follow? You can call him Billy Ray, not Billy Ray Cyrus. Whoops. Let's just make him into another character. Why not? Kind of missed the point there, Double R. Whee! No, but if you make a character, Bubba Boba Brain, Bubba Boba Brain, Bubba Boba Brain. We know that character. It's an actual character. It's Brain in a freaking long-legged suit. But you decided to go, this is how people see him, and he looks like Jensen Ackles. People who look that up will go, wait, Bubba Boba Brain is the name. The handle is something like that. A whole bunch of B's. But we know for a fact this is Jensen Ackles. Huh. How is this going to affect or influence or effect Jensen Ackles? This is a character just using his face. It will have no effect. However, if you do a fake life version of Jensen Ackles and you follow everything he does to the letter and you shoot in the dark where he's going to be, and he pops up there, and you cause the problem, that's on you. That's a fake life issue. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. That's the problem with fake life celebrities and whatnot. Do you follow the difference? The difference between fake life and roleplay characters that are OCs. Well, we're banning the face claim because Kristen Stewart doesn't want her face to be used as a face claim. Where does she say that? If you're talking about the whole situation where she was upset about people using pictures, it's because of the paparazzi and how they obtain the pictures as well. Thus why she said it is akin to grape without the G. Ugh. But again, that's taking context into all things. But we know how people spin anything for their own agenda in general. And of course, by doing so, they're just going to screw over canon. Way to go. Remember, most rules have a very, very fine line to them to make the exception. But, if you feel it necessary to follow through and go, okay, I'm assuming she means it in terms of using her face or her face as a face claim for anything, so be it. Just make sure you look up their filmography, their discography, whatever, you find out what they've worked on, and you avoid those fandoms altogether as well. This way, you're not coming off as a hypocrite. And I hope y'all enjoyed the technical nuances on this one. The nuances that most people don't even think about.
How dare you?
Double R out.